احنا عندنا آخر توك قبل السكند coffee break. Our next talk is about maximizing profits, how a revenue management system transforms hotel performance by Mr. Stathis Arvinda. أتمنى أكون بقول الاسم صح. The Regional Director of Sales at Duetto.
Thank you. How are you, everyone? Good afternoon. Before I start, I want to do a little engagement with you. Can you hands up or can you stand? All the hoteliers here, please. Hotels, who are running hotels today? So pretty much everyone, yeah? Okay. And anyone from revenue management? Okay, there are a few. Good. Anyone who is using automated revenue optimization solutions? Very good. All right. And the last question. Anyone who has killed static contracts in your hotels? So still there. All right, great, excellent. So my name is Stathis, and today I am actually representing Regional Sales Director. But 25 years of my hospitality experience is hardcore revenue person. So I actually, I was previously, before I joined Duetto, I was head of revenue management for Millennium Hotels in the region. And I was running approximately around 60 plus hotels, optimizing revenues. So today I'm going to wear my revenue hat in front of you, right? Great. So the questions I asked you before is I wanted to really understand, because I'm quite new to the Egyptian market, and however, I'm not new to Middle East or GCC market. I have been living in Dubai for my 25 years life within the GCC market. You know, I have seen how a city like Dubai moving from 20,000 rooms to 150,000 rooms today, and the entire country crossing 250,000 to 280,000 rooms in the country today. But Egyptian market is very, very interesting. I did some homework yesterday. I read a lot about the market, and you know, salute to you guys. 66,000 plus years of history. There is so much to learn, and also, you know, like so much to see and so much to learn, so much cultural things. So there's a lot that you can give to the world, right? And you are enjoying approximately around 14 million visitors every year, as what I read. In last year it was around 14 million, and I think you can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. But your revenues are around 9 billion. So that's kind of 50% of the visitors. And if you take an example, a city like Dubai, so I'm comparing a country to a city. City like Dubai enjoys around 18 million visitors a year, but close to $30 billion revenue, almost double. What does this tells you? Dubai is 30 years history. We're talking 6,000 years history. 7,000 years history. And I come from a country almost has 6,000 years history. So what does that tells you? 50% of the revenues of visitors, if you look at numbers.
It's not only history. The main factor is there is a lot of developments, updates, and attractions of the traveling.
There is so much to give to the world. There's so much people to see, but they don't spend money. So there's something behind it, right? So we need to deep dive, I mean, as industry experts, to see why are we not getting this revenue. So we'll talk about it a bit more on this, right? So the world is moving. If you think about revenue management, where the revenue management happens, you know, it happens with farmers, the older days. It did not happen yesterday or today. It happens. Revenue management was invented by farmers. And then who expertise the revenue management is the airlines. They took the lead in revenue management. And we hoteliers followed, unfortunately. Until today we are following, but we are not even closer to what they're doing. It's a shame, you know. So why it happens? Because I think hotel industry is a bit more cost conscious. Earlier we had a presentation about P&L, and a very interesting presentation, and thank you, the gentleman. So we look at cost conscious operations in our hotels, but we never look at our top line. Airlines never look at the cost. They look at the top line. How much we can generate per each seat, price by each seat, and so on. So what we are going to do today is we're going to discuss a little more about revenue management and why it is important for our hotels. And I'm going to share some of my experience with you, and I hope that is going to be helpful, you know, moving forward in optimizing revenue in this beautiful market. It's my first time outside the country, so I have been through the airport but never stepped out, so I started loving it. All right? So what is your understanding in terms of revenue management system or revenue management solution? Anyone can contribute?
Yes, I can. You mean what is the revenue management?
No, what is revenue management system or revenue management solution? What's your understanding in this?
Actually, up to date, I think the revenue cannot work alone now. Maybe in earlier step, it was after sales and marketing as a base, and then the revenue, and then now the e-commerce and digital marketing is this all factors or all aspects should work together to maximize revenue, and it is not anymore long story. It is very short story, updated every now and then as we see the currency, for example, in Egypt is changing a lot in a very short notice, and lot of factors should be considered to make revenue better. I mean, to improve the revenue management. And it is now not only revenue, it's related to many things, as you just mentioned, the airlines or the airlines created the yielding system, and then we follow this, but we have a different story to tell.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So it's a culture, right? It's something that you got to believe in, and it's a culture. And what has happened, it has evolved to be more automated. So the success behind airlines is that they have incorporated systematic solutions, so automated solutions to run their revenue optimization, run their yielding. But this is why hotels, unfortunately, is behind. So if you think about a 300-seat aircraft, or 400 or 500 or 380 aircraft, every single seat is optimized through a fully computerized system, fully automated AI-driven solution.
The hotel is something, and the aircraft is something else, because it's one plane.
Yeah, I agree with you, but
They have more than different things, but for the hotel.
but
it's
I'm
quite
talking the
different.
principle here, right?
Yes,
So
still there is a big difference. And the automated one, because the aeroplane, they have the main issue in the revenue plan. It depends on the history of, not on what we have now. And every time the history is different, so I have to go and feed the revenue system with the changes of the things.
So I want to relate your discussion to the cancellation presentation we discussed earlier. There was a lot of debates about it, a lot of questions about it, and this is exactly what we are talking about, the dynamic environment, right? So revenue management system is an automated, fully computerized solution that can be integrated to your operating system, so it will itself will handle your revenue optimization. All right? That's what revenue management system is about. So how does the system works? How does this automation works when you are integrating to a solution like that? So it actually capture more revenues. How it capture more revenues? Because it understand the demand, the curves, the trends, the cancellations, what is to come, and so on, where we as a human eye cannot see. All right? It drive more profitable business because it plays around with the rates, segmentation, room type, channel mix, and so on, geographical mix, and so on, right? All your business tracking data has been analyzed by a revenue system and then suggested to be the best solution, all right? Improve operational efficiency because the system delivers you more accurate forecast, helps you to understand the guest patterns, helps you to, like operational team members to understand what are my arrivals, how many guests I'm expecting to be on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, etc., weekdays, weekends, and so on, right? I remember we discussed about analyzing, it's again from the P&L presentation. This is something that we do very small in hospitality, and other industries do much more, proactive analysis. That's where revenue management system helps you to do that. And then last but not least is to gain a competitive advantage. So when you as a hotelier or a hotel has an automated revenue management system, it allows you to be more competitive than your comp set if they don't have. Because they will still work on a manual environment, but you have a fully automated environment, so you have far more time secured for you to be strategic than them. So that gives you a very good competitive advantage. All right? So how it happens? How does the system works? I'm going to take you through very basic steps only. I'm not going to deep dive into a full revenue management system, right? Dynamic pricing. So we discuss about static, dynamic, etc. We discuss about partner rate with Booking.com, one of my very favorite subjects, And it's all about us. Who control the price out there in the market? It's us as revenue managers. I am responsible as a revenue manager because I have a rate leakage out there. But when you have a revenue management solution, and when solution suggests you to shift to a very dynamic pricing environment and play around with your channels, you can get rid of these things. Get rid of potential problems that is coming forward for you. Okay? So dynamic pricing is something that only a proper solution can do. If someone tells me that I can do dynamic pricing in an Excel sheet, I would love to understand how, because it's impossible. I have lived with it. I have so much of, problems. It's impossible. All right? And then maximizing revenues. How do you maximize revenue? Because it looks at every single price point, every single segmentation, every single channel mix, and so on. Deep dive into data. And then optimize your profitability. Remember, in P&L presentation, I loved that presentation, to be very honest. There was brand.com giving you $76 average rate, profit rate. So a revenue management system can help you to really understand, should I focus more on my brand.com rather than my OTAs? System can proactively tell you, keep your inventory for your brand because your brand is going to give you more demand. But physically, we cannot see this. All right? Inventory control, I just talk about it. System helps you to do your inventory allocation correctly. Overbooking. How much we practice overbooking, right? Sometimes we do it like this. But system do it systematically, correctly. And it will tell you, go for 10 rooms overbook because you will have 15 cancellations, 3 extensions, and so on. All right? And last not the least is forecasting. I mean, today forecasting is such a dilemma. The world is in it's called VUCA world, right? It's a very vulnerable world today. So it's very difficult for you to forecast. Forecast by segment, forecast by room type, forecast day of the week, and so on. That's why it's so important for hoteliers today to have an automation solutions. All right? And again, competitive advantage. That helps you to really stand out from your comp set. So you get better advantage of this. So, different, but still, hotel, from each and every hotel, it's different environment, different behavior. So let's look at a couple of examples, right? I have an amazing revenue manager, Marie. So Marie is struggling with limited revenue inside. She needs help. So she wants to identify trends and at the same time optimize her pricing strategies and make formal decisions, informed decisions, right? She wants to be very proactive. That's Marie's behavior. And then I have Theo, a director of revenue, struggling with time-consuming analysis because he works very much on manual environment, complex decision-making, he needs help, analyze data, automate processes, and make quicker decisions. Different behaviors. I have Jack, revenue strategist. He's more strategical person, right? Jack feels like his hotel is consistently leaving money on the table because he needs help with lost revenue opportunities, low average daily rate. I was listening to somebody about low average rate earlier. Someone was complaining, right? Manually adjusting rates. So you need to change your rates from $50 to $55 and so on. I mean, I'll give you a simple example, right? I used to work for a hotel with 46 channels. I never had an automated revenue management system. So I had to change my bar rate in Opera plus 46 channels. By the time I finish the 46 channel, my shift is over. Are you experiencing something like this today? I'm sure you must have live cases like that, right? Yeah, see? But today, I am happy to say that there is revenue system, automation system to say you just click a button and then in milliseconds, everything is updated. All your distribution channels. All right? So, sorry. No, you don't need to. You don't need to. You can fully automate and you can sleep. 100% you can automate. All right? The gentleman from Hotel Association is actually smiling because he knows what I'm talking about. You can automate 100%, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. But you have the control. You have the joystick. Yes, you have the joystick. But if you don't want to touch your joystick, you can fully automate and then sleep. And system will work. All right, so do we have these troubles? Do we have these sufferings in our hotels today? We do, right? We do. So if you look at Murray, Jack, Theo, Stathis, Mohammed, so and so, we have many of them in our hotel industry, unfortunately. So that's where, I see for us to really look at, for us to open our eyes and to understand what is available in the market and to see how we can adapt to ever-changing technology, then evolving technology. Okay, so Murray is a tech savvy, and I believe that she is going to evolve quicker than the others. And she's going to stand out, get that competitive advantage, and move forward and start optimizing. This is how, the hotels are moving, hotel companies are moving. I mean, in Egypt, I know that there are a lot of independent hotels. small to medium-sized hotel chains that are operating independently. So I really urge you, when you go back, to look at the environment, discuss with your senior leadership team, and then see how this automation can be onboarded. All right? So we go back. How an RMS sold your revenue was? This is a very important question for you to ask, because when you are a revenue manager or a commercial leader, you need to have an answer to this, because your investor, your owner will ask, why should I spend and onboard a revenue system? Because I have you to work on Excel sheets and then do the work, right? So you need to have the right answers for that. So optimize revenue. There are a lot of case studies how revenue management system can optimize your revenue. Increase efficiency. That means you have operational efficiency that you can work on. Improve data accuracy. I remember Dr. Taha said, GIGO. I love GIGO. Garbage in, garbage out. And I have seen it, lived with it, and trust me, until today I see it in many hotels. So you can avoid this. Improved guest experience. We talk about guest experience, right? So in one of my presentation, I am advisory board member of HSMAI. One of the presentations, I actually created a formula called return on emotions. I don't know, because we all talk about return on investments. Everyone talk about return on investment, ROI, but we don't talk about ROE. The most difficult time that someone, in the journey of hotel stay, the most critical and difficult time of the guest. Can someone tell me when? Huh? Check out. Why check out? Yes, thank you very much. Because that's the time you have to pull your pocket and then give the money away. Right? Or pay in advance. But when it is payment. So if we really focus on improved guest satisfaction at the time of checkout, that gives you return on emotions. We as guests stay in different hotels, 3, 4, 5, etc., right? Some luxury, some so and so. It's all because we need an emotional satisfaction. I'll give you an example. I stay in many hotels, but I hate when my bed, the comforter is stuck under the bed, because you have to pull it out and then, change and so on. Why can't we make it simple and, you lay it very nicely, neatly on the top of the bed? But because our standard is like that, so we have to stuck it inside and pull and then, so on, right? So it's all experience. It's all emotions. I am paying because I need to have an emotional satisfaction, right? So, emotional satisfaction and centralized view. So, I have worked with few other hotel chains that there are 10, 15 hotels, one operator, but you never have a portfolio view unless somebody sit behind, consolidate 10, 15 Excel sheets and put it into some kind of a dashboard or a view. But how long it takes? So an RMS can give you at a click. All right? So these are how, a system is really going to generate the benefits for your organization. Tech stack is very important. So we talk about a lot technological evolvement and integrating technology, cloud solutions, guest enhancements and solutions, customer review solutions and all that. So I really urge you, my friends, to get your tech stack right. Even you have hotels today operating, planning to operate, or planning in the future for investment and so on, but get your tech stack right. What are the most important technological element for your hotel? And make sure RMS is part of that. So adapt an RMS, and watch how your revenue is growing. I can, with my personal experience, I started revenue management 20 years before with lots of Excel sheets, manual updates. But when I finished my revenue management January this year and shifted to the technological side of the business, I finished with fully automated revenue environment. And I can assure you, as revenue leaders or commercial leaders or investors or general managers, hotel owners, regardless your role or position, RMS is the future. All right? So, Duetto, I represent Duetto Revenue Management System, and today we have been voted to be number 1 RMS 4 consecutive years in the world. All right? I'm not going to sell Duetto here, but it's my duty to mention that, and I hope to see you in our roundtable sessions if you have any further questions. And I'm here, I still have a couple of minutes, and if you want to ask me any questions as well. Gentlemen, can somebody give a mic?
Yes. Good afternoon. First,
Good
thank
afternoon,
thank you for your time. You know, this kind of systems very like guide. It's working like guide to revenue and e-commerce. But from my experience, I'm facing small problem with one like Duetto. No need to mention the name. You know, one of the first tasks you have to get competitive the competitive pricing day by day from this system. So we discovered that this system, you know, it's linked or offer you only the bar rate. It's dynamic pricing. So all hotels usually offer last minute offer or length of stay. It's not mentioned. So I believe that Duetto can maybe more accurate system, not like the others, because to be efficient, to be accurate more.
Thank you for the question. I think it's a very valid question.
Thank you.
Because you asked, I'm going to explain a little bit about the concept and the algorithm formula behind Duetto. So we believe in the concept called open pricing, all right? Which means two sides of the coin, open pricing. One is there is no price limitation. So you as a hotel can work on your room cost and so on, and then your anticipated profitability, and then say, this should be my minimum price that any time of the year I'm going to sell, because I have a cost to cover, right? So you will sell your minimum price, and then your maximum price is N. So you can move from a 50 fields onward the way you want. System will really understand, evaluate, and then suggest the pricing. That's the one side of the coin. The second side of the coin is something that you mentioned, is that we don't believe in restrictions. Duetto does not recommend applying restrictions. What do I mean by this? So let's take, you have your bar, and then you have derived pricing structures, right? You have packages.
Yes, bar are usually not static, but bar is only one number. But day by day, the revenue managers and the e-commerce usually change the price maybe 2 times per day or more.
So I'll give you an example. I used to work.
The system will follow up time by time, day by day.
Yeah, so that's what I earlier explained, right? So you have your bar rate, and then system will do automatically, system will understand several demand curves, demand drivers, and system will change the price. But you are not running your 100% of the hotel on bar, right? So you have other prices as well. So I saw an earlier presentation, 50% is your leisure. And I spoke to some of the hotel team members, some of the industry peers. 85% is contracted, to operators, right? Yeah. So what happens that when in an open pricing environment, system will tell you nothing to be closed, but your pricing can change. So if let's say for an example, you have your package rate, you have your non-refundable discounted rate, and then you have your length of stay rates, and so on. So system will guide you on a peak day. Have you heard the term called unconstrained demand? So when you have an unconstrained demand, system will guide you and then adapt your restricted pricing to match almost to the bar level. So that your loyal clients who book your length of stay, who book your non-refundable, they will still be able to book all those policies, but you will not lose anything on your price. Yes, ma'am.
There is two issues: the complementary and the house use. How can I manage on the revenue management system?
So you every hotel has a complimentary and house use policies, right? So I take my hotel experience back with you, and system tells you that this particular period or this particular demand days, you are not allowed to have any complimentary rooms, same as house use. So let's say for an example, if your GM is, I had a hotel, my GM was staying in the hotel, and I was having an unconstrained demand. I said, Mr. GM, you need to check out and give me the room. Simple as that. Right? So this is how it is. But if you have a hotel rooms used as stores, because you don't have facilities in a hotel to store your certain things, but then you need to, because they are being used for a longer term, you need to take out from your sellable inventory, right? Renovation, long-term closing, they need to take it out from your sellable, yieldable inventory. So you have always the yieldable inventory and non-yieldable inventory. So you need to put them into non-yieldable inventory. Yes. You don't need to do anything. Yes, more questions. We read 5 years of your data. If you have 5 years data, we will read them. Yes. Your system will understand you have renovation. Yeah, because you're going to allocate your rooms accordingly, right? Yeah. So let's say last year you had no renovation. This year you're going to plan the renovation. And you're going to allocate, you're going to block your rooms for renovation, right? You will have let's say you have 2 floors renovation. You have 1 buffer floor, 1 upper buffer floor, because of sound effects and so on, right? So system will understand that, yeah. Because you're going to allocate those rooms. You're not going to sell those rooms. That's how system learns. It learns every single day, every single minute. Every time a reservation lands on your PMS, it learns.
We will make brainstorming for the system.
I need to understand your question. Maybe we can discuss it at lunch. Any other question? All right. Thank you very much. Really appreciate. Looking forward to connect with you.